Good afternoon and welcome to the Happy Half Hour. I'm Leigh Kubin.
I'm Sandra Priestley. Welcome to the podcast. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
I'm excited. I'm excited
Yes.
because sometimes we kind of talk about what we're going to talk about on the podcast. Not like we don't script it anymore, right? Like
Right.
before, when we first started, it was kind of uncomfortable and we would script it. And now it's like we kind of have an idea of where we're going to go, but nothing is scripted.
Mhm.
And today, I know you went on a trip. I know nothing about it. You
Yeah.
said that it was like massively, I can't remember the word, but like in my mind, it's like
I'm free.
pivotal. Yeah. Oh yeah. You said I'm free. And I'm like, oh,
Mhm. Mhm.
so this is like it truly is the purest version of like two women hanging out, happy hour, like how'd your week go? Like this is like
Yes.
unedited. You don't know. This is so real. So I'm
Yeah.
so excited. I am drinking. Cam brought me back a Starbucks, just like regular decaf with
Yeah.
coconut milk. So
Oh.
that's what I chose to drink today. I'm still finishing it. Like I've had it. It's cold now. I've had it for like 2 hours, but it's still good.
You're still drinking it. I'm getting ready in the bathroom, and this is the first time I've had makeup on since Thursday.
Oh my gosh. How awesome.
And so I'm like, oh, I gotta get ready. And Paul brings me a glass of rosé. He's like, here's rosé from 2 weekends ago that we didn't drink. It
Ah,
wasn't opened. It was
okay.
just we had bought it to drink, and we haven't had time to drink it.
Oh,
So
nice.
he poured me a glass. So I am having it's Whispering Angel, and I don't have the
Oh,
bottle in here
like,
with me.
but
But
doesn't that, what a nice name.
oh, and it is the best rosé. I mean, it's better than Josh.
Cool. I love it. I love the name.
Open. Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so
So,
tell me about your weekend.
oh my gosh. Magic all over the place. It
I
was
love it.
absolutely amazing. We left here on Thursday at 4 a.m. We're going to New Orleans to see a concert. But on the way to New Orleans, I thought we would stop and have breakfast with my brother and my father. And,
Okay.
my father and I were estranged for years, and our relationship, I don't even know if you call it a relationship. We talk about 4 times a year, and we have some amazing talks. I might see him once a year. I haven't seen him in 18 months. Sometimes it's a couple of years. We don't see each other often. But I had called him because this trip has been planned since December. And I called and said, hey, we're coming through town. We can swing by and have breakfast on our way to New Orleans. And he's like, oh, yeah, just let me know. And so I went ahead and texted my father and said, hey, this is the time we're meeting. And we changed the place to here. And he doesn't respond. And I don't think anything of it. I'm thinking he's asleep. Then my brother texted me back about 5 minutes later and said, yeah, he's not coming. It's just going to be me. And I was like, well, that's weird, but okay. So we get to the restaurant and we're sitting down ordering breakfast. We got the most amazing service. The people were the sweetest people on the planet. The food was unreal. So I asked my brother, I'm like, so what happened to Robert? And he said, oh, he's not coming. And a word salad came out of his mouth that I could not comprehend. He was talking about this and revelations. The word revelation did not come out of my brother's mouth. That was
Right.
my interpretation of what
Okay.
came out. Yes. Because I can't remember word for word because I'm sitting there listening to him going, what the hell are you saying?
Yeah.
And none of it was making sense. And then he was talking about, well, he got mad at me once because of this. And I was going, is he mad at me? And then there's this voice going, God, why do you have to make everything about you?
Oh, I love it. But we all do that. We all do that.
Oh, yeah. But I'm starting to feel guilty. And I'm like, I don't talk to him that much and I don't see him like, what the hell? And
Yeah.
so the subject gets changed because it's not really going anywhere and I don't really understand. So we're talking about all the stuff that, is going on with the kids and he's got a grandbaby on the way. And so we're just chatting it up and eating our breakfast and talking about the show that we're on our way to see. We finish up breakfast. Well, at this point, the school, his wife works for a school district, and they're shutting down the school because of the storm that's on its way, and flash flooding is expected. We finish up our breakfast. We say our goodbyes. I get the umbrella out because it is pouring, and I had just washed my hair, just curled my hair. Like I was ready for this concert.
Oh.
And then I was like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to see JJ Gray, whatever. Well, we get in the truck, and then we get on the road, and we're driving down the road, and it has us exit because it wants us to go a different way. I guess the road was flooded the way we were headed. Girl, when we exit, luckily we're in Paul's truck. The water that it was flooded and we couldn't see it, covered our windshield. And it wasn't like a splash. It kept on and on. And there was this voice in my head going, it's okay. You were okay. You were okay. But we couldn't see anything. And
Wow.
then all of a sudden it clears and Paul kind of straightens out the truck. And I thought, thank God we are not in my car, because we would have taken my car, except that we were leaving New Orleans and going to Florida and bringing
Okay.
stuff back. And we wouldn't have had room for everything in my car. So we took the truck. And I laughed and I said, isn't that something? We were supposed to be in my car. We'd have been toast. Like we probably wouldn't have been dead, but the car would have lifted up and floated away.
Right. Yeah.
The amount
Mhm.
of water that we went through.
Wow.
And I thought, "Huh, yeah, of course we're in the truck and we're
Okay.
fine." And then we're
Right.
driving down the road. And about this time, I texted Robert and said, sorry we missed your breakfast. Hope you're doing okay. And then I get an alert on my phone that says, flash flood warning in the area that you are in. Take cover and do not travel
Oh, no.
unless you are on an evacuation order and have to flee your area, or there was something else.
Or you have to flee to get to a concert you've paid for and you really wanna go
That's kind of
to
what.
a city park.
So,
Okay.
so I'm telling this to Paul going, I mean, it is coming down. And he's like, yeah, we're fleeing Beaumont. Like, we have to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm always in the right place at the right time. And I was white knuckling it for a couple more miles. And something said, text Lily. And so I text because I'm wanting to text my mother and go, oh my God, we're in a flash flood warning and I'm so scared. But I thought, well, I'm just going to get more scared. Like, oh,
Mhm.
honey, be so careful. And
Yes.
although I understand what she says and she means well, I needed, you're a badass. You got this.
Yeah.
Breathe, focus. You'll know what to do. If you need to
And
pull over, you'll know. If you like,
and how cool that the person that you would reach out to is your own daughter,
yeah, yeah.
right?
So I messaged her and I didn't tell her everything, anything that was going on. I just said, I need you to send me all of the positive energy that you have right now. I am in a little bit of fear mode and I'm letting it go. And I need to feel you sending me that strength. And
I
she
love
said, done. And then she's at work. And then she texted me a few minutes later and she goes, LB, who is a coworker of hers, she's sending you positive energy too. So just know we
oh,
got you, girl.
that just gives me chills, like I'm chills
Yeah.
full from the tip of my head to the tip of my toes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it kind of made me feel like that too. When as soon as she sent it, I felt this strength in me, like, okay, you're
Mhm.
fine. You're fine. So we get through and we get it was well into our trip, Louisiana, that the rain died down and the roads didn't feel scary anymore. And then I was like, okay, we're almost there. This is so good. We get into New Orleans, we get to our place, It is the cutest place I've ever seen. I mean, it was on Bourbon Street. It was in the middle of the action, but it was just a few blocks off enough to where it wasn't noisy party, but you could still
Nice.
people watch. Throughout all of this, I'm realizing Robert hasn't texted me back. And so I go check my phone. He's read both of my texts. One was from 7 o'clock in the morning, one was from 11 o'clock in the morning, and it
Wow.
hit me. Ah, my brother was trying to tell me he doesn't want to see you. Like,
Mm,
he's cutting this off. And, but he didn't have the heart to just come out and say, yeah, he didn't want to talk to you anymore. And then my heart sank and it hurt.
mhm.
And I started going, what could I have done? What did I do? Like, for the last 27 years, I
Yeah.
have tried to live my life in a way that I was a good person. And I do things to be part of my community and I give back and I take care of my kids and my grandkids and my husband. And like, what more? And then I was pissed.
Mhm.
And so then I'm feeling that. And then I'm going, well, maybe I'm making all of this up. This sounds so stupid. Like, why? Like, this is so out of the blue. And so then I'm in this denial phase and it hits me. Oh, honey, you're going through the 5 stages of grief.
Absolutely. I was just going through there, like
Yeah, yeah. I was still, like, stuck in I was quiet, I wasn't talking. I wasn't discussing this with Paul. This was all kinda going in my head, and we get to our place, we get the truck, we find a spot to park it, we get back, and it's time to get ready for the concert, and so we're sitting on the balcony, kinda people watching, and he's like, "We gotta get ready for the concert," and I said and I told him what was going on with me. I said, "I am processing this information, and I don't know what you picked up from breakfast today because I missed it all because I was oblivious and completely naive and trying not to make anything about me because everything doesn't revolve around me, but apparently this did. So I think I missed some important cues." He was like, "Who cares?"
But
Which
it's interesting. Did Paul catch it at the
no,
time?
mm-mm,
Oh, he
not
didn't
at
know what
all.
he was trying to say too, because he was just
No,
around the issue so much that it was impossible to understand?
correct. I think he
Okay.
was trying to be so careful and nice, and I would have appreciated just a, "Yeah, he don't wanna see you. He don't wanna talk to you. You're dead to him," whatever it is.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Why would you care? Y'all didn't even really have a relationship. Like, you talk to the man. You
Yeah.
see the man here and there. He doesn't know you. What? It's not like you're missing anything. What?" And I was like, "You know what? I need you to shut up right now, and I need you to let me process this. I'm gonna feel it, I'm gonna release it, and then we're gonna have a great night, but I just need a moment." And he was like, "Whatever you need, baby." And he gave me my space. And so I'm playing it, and there's a few different scenarios that it could be this, or it could be this, or it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I wish that he had picked up the phone and called and just said, "This is how I'm feeling, and I can't do this anymore." I think that the saddest part to me is that I won't speak to him before he's passes on or I
Mhm.
pass on,
Mhm.
and then I think we'll chat. But I've said everything. He's met my kids. He's met my grandkids. He's met my husband. He's he's been to the house to see our family together. I got everything I wanted. Like,
Right.
all I wanted with him was more time, and I got some time. Then I thought, "Oh, I'm free." Because what derailed me 27 years ago and made me feel scared and alone and unworthy and all the things I felt started to creep up. Like, maybe you are a bad person. maybe. And then these thoughts are coming up. And I went, that's such bullshit.
Yeah.
He might be in a situation where he has to choose. He
Mhm.
might have been put in a situation that said, it's her or us.
Yeah.
I'd have picked them too. I have nothing to give him. But also, when I'm almost 80, I hope I can articulate how I'm feeling to
Oh,
anybody, but especially my
exactly.
kids. And how
Exactly.
sad that he couldn't formulate the words to just call and say goodbye. Like, I'm glad we
Mhm.
got to reconnect, but it's not going to work.
Yeah, that avoidance, I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
I like,
Yeah.
I would much rather know, and I say this a lot, I would much rather hear the harsh truth than just have something, like, just be in avoidance. So I will
Mhm.
be the first person to message and go, "What's your deal?" Like,
Yeah.
what do you think I did? You know, I just posted a story or shared something into my stories the other
Mhm.
day, and it said, "I won't take it personally. It's not about me."
Mm-mm. No.
And this is one of the things is like when I don't have any closure, I have to go there.
Yeah.
I have to go there of like, well, this isn't about me. But I
Mhm.
also love the fact, and I know that you're like this, is that we have done enough work on ourselves to evolve to the place where we can articulate, we
Yeah.
can have huge, hard discussions
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
and move through them,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know?
Well, and that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That is. And I could call him and text him and stalk him. He's not gonna pick up my calls, and that's okay. I don't need it.
And you feel peace anyway. So the fact that you
Yeah.
feel free now is enough.
Yeah.
He can feel whatever he chooses to because it's not about you. You feel free
Well, and I
and
hope
that,
he does too.
yeah,
Like, that's what I hope for him.
right.
It was just a moment that could have, if I were not in this headspace, completely derailed
Mhm.
this amazing weekend that followed. And JJ Grey and Samantha Fish, that is the best show I have ever seen. It was
Wow.
2 people, she opened for him. So I
Okay.
didn't have much hope. Like, I thought, an opening act, whatever.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, we will go see her. She's coming in August here to Austin, and we will go see her.
Nice.
Watching them perform their magic, like, watch their performance was them performing their magic. Like, you could see it. It felt like I was in the vortex. She was amazing, then he came on. He was amazing. I mean, it brought me to tears a few times, and I felt so silly, but it just moved me in a way that it was the perfect night. The
Mhm.
perfect, perfect night that ended with us back on the balcony, people watching and laughing and talking.
You know what I love most about this?
Hmm.
I love so much about this story. What I love most about this is number 1, you relate it you related it back to how it took you 27 years ago when when you felt all of these things. What I
Yeah.
think happens when we get triggered by an event
Mhm.
is that we go back to the trauma, little t
Oh,
or big T,
I tried. Yeah.
little t or big T, we go back and we feel that age even. We
Yeah.
react that age that we're
Yeah.
at, we feel that age that we're at, and we start to, like, have that trauma response.
Mhm.
So I love that you related back to 27 years ago.
Yeah.
I love that you just didn't allow yourself to go there because it's so easy to go down that rabbit hole. And had you, you would have never seen. the magic that was in front of you. You
Yeah.
would have been telling stories all day. You would have been sorry for yourself. You would have not,
Uh-huh.
you know, like it could have so easily been, this has ruined my day. I don't even want to fucking go.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't even want to go to the concert. I just feel sorry. I just want to
Stay
like
home and
crawl up
suck my thumb.
in bed.
Uh-huh.
Right. I want to
Yeah.
crawl into the fetal position and I want to just like sit here and cry. Why
Yep.
doesn't he why doesn't he want me? Why doesn't he say this? I don't know what's happening. I've got to phone him. I've got to text him. I got to talk to my brother. I got to figure this out. I mean, you work through it so quickly
Mhm.
and then you were able to get back to the magic, but so often we do not do that. We stay in our trauma.
Well, but I recognized it because it was interesting. I went, "Oh, this feels like rejection."
Mhm.
Like, I recognized it immediately so I could think about, "Honey, this you're just feeling rejection and all these emotions." And because it came from the person it came from, it brought me back to the last time I was rejected.
Yeah.
And I remember running
By
into
him.
him. Yeah, by him, yes.
Rejected by him.
I
Yeah.
remember running into him at the mall one day, and I saw him walking up, and I went, "Huh, hey," and he turned around and he walked the other way. And I
Hmm.
remember that feeling, and of course, how do you say we played normal? Pretend
Mhm.
normal. And I
Pretend normal.
pretended normal because 'cause I'm in public, and I was like, "Oh, okay, well, I
Yeah.
guess I just need to turn around and walk away too and act like nothing happened." But inside, just devastated, realizing, "Oh, like, oh." Yeah, so it brought all of that back up, and I had to keep going, "Honey, that hadn't been you for 27 years.
Yeah.
Look at who you are and where you are.
Yeah.
Don't be a whiny baby. Like,
Yeah.
you're a badass. Are you 52 or are you 23? Like, come on." So I guess
Mhm.
now it's been more than 27 years, but gosh, 29 years. Anyway, it was huge, it was healing, I have compassion for him for his inability to be able to communicate, like,
Yeah.
how sad that is, but more than anything, I look at my family that I've had for 27 years and the gratitude that I feel. Got both my grandbabies with me right now, brought one back from Florida. The kids will be home. Logan and Mona will be here for a month. They won't be here. They'll be, of course, traveling to visit everybody, but we'll get to see them a significant amount of time before Logan goes off to his new destination, and then we'll have the girls for the next 7 months. So, there's too much to be grateful for, to be
Yeah.
derailed by something insignificant.
And it's unfortunate because it's so common that we do this and we ruin our peace by
Mhm.
our thoughts
Yeah,
and
and
other
what we make
people,
it mean.
what we make it mean, and
Mhm.
other people's actions, people who don't have a significant effect on our lives or a significant place in our lives. And we let them take over space in our brain. My mom used to say, don't let them rent space in your brain.
Yeah, for
And
free.
what happens is for free, yeah. And they're, squatters and not taking care of your space well, damaging the property. And
Yeah.
we let them rent space in our brain, and we don't have space for the people who we do care about.
Mhm.
We then don't allow space for the people that we are with
Yeah.
who really matter the most. We're only half there, a quarter there, a tenth there, or
Yeah.
not there at all for them. And they're not allowed, there's no space for them.
And had I really gotten derailed by this and shut
Mhm.
down, I would have missed a night with Paul.
Right.
I wouldn't have been at that show experiencing magic. I
Exactly.
would not have been able to look over at him singing,
Mhm.
seeing him experience that magic. He wouldn't have had as much fun because I would have been in a funk,
Yeah.
and it it was just it could have gone so differently, and in the past, it would have,
Yeah.
but
So
Yeah.
Tell me what was the second? Because I think, I mean, anyone that's listening to this has
Yeah.
had this experience, I know, because we're all the same. I mean, we're
Yeah.
all the same. Our thoughts are all the same. They're about safety. They're about, trying to manage those traumas, and we get back into those spaces. So tell me, what was the place like when you felt triggered and you felt all of this stuff? What was the thing that you told yourself that was the biggest shift? Was there like something that you've already said in the story, or was there something else? Like, was there a feeling? Was there a thought? Like, what was the thing that
It was
changed
the
it?
same voice that said everything's okay when we were
Mhm.
going through that water.
I love it.
That it was that same, you're fine.
I love it.
That is not who you are. You know, yeah, you made some stupid choices, and those choices were not my parents' fault. However, those choices that I made were based on who I thought I was because of
Mhm.
what I made my childhood mean. The
Yeah.
things that happened, because there were a lot of traumas in my childhood.
Yeah.
And what I made those things mean now to me as a 52-year-old, I completely understand
Mhm.
why I made the choices that I made in my early 20s because that's who I thought I was. That's not their fault.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. I was having a discussion with my mother last week, and she was saying she had misinterpreted a conversation that we had had years ago. Did I talk about this last week?
I don't think so.
She had misinterpreted this conversation, and she thought it meant that I was saying something that I was totally not even saying. And when she told me that, I was like, Mom, that's not what I said. What I
Mhm.
said was, I wish you had taught me how to fight for myself, to speak up for myself.
Um,
And instead of just letting people do whatever they wanted to do. And she goes, Honey, I didn't know how to do that. And I said, I know you didn't. You were
yeah.
never taught either. It's not your fault you didn't teach me. You didn't know. And so it wasn't malicious.
Right. This though, this is why you resonated with that quote that I posted so much.
Oh, yes.
Because so the quote says, "Be kind to past versions of yourself that didn't know the things you now know."
Yeah. But that goes for my parents too.
Mm, yes.
They were living their life, doing the best they could with, and they didn't
And
know what
still
I was experiencing in the midst of that.
right. But I love that you heard the voice. Like, I love that you heard the voice, like, "It's all gonna be okay."
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
love that. I think one yours was more peaceful. When I get into those situations and I feel triggered, like, I literally have to say to myself, "This is just old shit, let's move."
Mm.
Like, because I can recognize it's my old stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will be talking about a situation and my friend will say, "Oh, but that's your trigger." And I go,
Mhm.
"Oh, fuck. Yeah, that's just old shit. Okay."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like if I and my biggest trigger is fear of judgment, other people
Mhm.
judging me, and particularly other people thinking something about me that is not true.
Yeah.
It's not true in my core. And so that is a massive like fear of mine. It's a trigger of mine. And when I get into a situation like that, I start to like unravel a
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
And the faster I can recognize, oh, this is just old shit,
Yeah.
then I realize that a combination of emotion that I feel, like the intensity of the emotion that I feel, is not actually about this moment right now. It's about this moment with all the other crap.
Yeah.
It's this moment and the past traumas where I have felt like this, the little T's or the big T's. It's all of that pulling into this moment right now.
Mm.
And when I can recognize it, I can kind of say, ah, the emotion I feel is not real.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, it's real to me in the moment, but it's like created in my body because it's tying the now to the past.
Yes.
And when we recognize that, it's really fascinating because as soon as I recognize that, I go, oh, and it's like I can cut the ties from the now to the past, and I can only feel the now. And when I only feel the now, it's incredible how much quicker I can move through it.
And that is the most important part, is to stop and recognize you're looking through this through eyes of yourself in the past.
Yes.
Who are you right now today?
Yeah.
Are you going to get derailed by this? Really? Look at your life. Look at what you're doing. Look at where you are.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is that comes. Now, if Paul walked in right now and said, "Hey, yeah, Cuban out,"
Yeah.
that's a whole different discussion.
Right.
That's going to take me that's going to take me a longer than a drive to New Orleans to sort through. And there are
Right.
going to be some snot tears and maybe a fit or two and
Yeah.
sobbing, and like that would rip my heart out. Why? Why?
Mhm.
Eh,
Yeah.
eh. Got everything I need.
Yeah.
So
How
more,
amazing I mean, like just having that awareness and that recognition in the moment too, because sometimes we don't, right?
yeah.
Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we go so far down the rabbit hole, it's pretty fucking black down there. And like
Oh.
we can't see the light. We can't see what's real. We just see darkness and like that's it,
And
you know?
don't you notice when we start going down the rabbit hole, we see more and more evidence that we're
Mhm.
right. It is the end of the fucking world. What am I
Yeah,
going to do? I have
right.
been rejected.
Yeah. Where do
Yeah.
I go? There's no light from here. I don't know what's happening. Like
Yeah.
it's yeah, I mean, we go so far down and I'm not avert. Like I'm not, it's not like I don't do this, but I do recognize it a lot faster that I'm going down. And usually it's, like a friend who says, "Oh, but this is your trigger," or it's Cam who says, "Oh my gosh, you've gone down the rabbit hole again." And as
Mhm.
soon as he says it, I'm like, "Ah, I have. Okay, back up.
Yeah.
Back up. This is just old shit."
Hmm.
But like it's such a blessing to have people in your life that you have been vulnerable with,
Yeah.
that you can open up to, or you reach out to a coach or whatever it happens to be, just to kind of remind you, same as when you went back to Lily
Hmm.
and said, "Okay, I need your help." It's like sometimes we just need that support.
Yeah.
And let's face it, if you hadn't gone back to Lily in that moment, you might have just carried on down the rabbit hole.
Well,
But if you had not done that and you
mhm.
had been panicky and you had allowed
Yeah.
yourself to really work through it, but like go down the rabbit hole, I
Yeah.
think sometimes then the next situation
Oh, because
is
it would have compounded.
would have compounded the
Yeah.
right.
You're
So
right.
like,
Yeah.
that part of it was such a blessing. And I mean, it's always amazing when we can do this by ourselves. It's always
Mhm.
amazing when we can just go, "Oh shit, this is old crap. Oh, okay, I'm good." I Sometimes we can't. And that's when it's so important to reach out to someone else
Yeah.
who's not going to justify your fears,
Right.
who's not going to justify your excuses, who's not going to say, "What did he do that for? Why did he say that? This is bullshit. He should do this and you should do that." And like, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just like there's peace in the now.
Well, I think that's my new go-to. When I get into a mode, don't explain. Don't tell them why they need to worry or why I should feel the way I feel. Just say, this is what I need. Send it to me.
I love it.
Because that's so much better than going, oh, this is going on and I need y'all to send me positive energy, because
Yes.
then they've got to go, tell me
What's
more.
happening?
Tell
Oh,
me
let me
about it.
a
Give it more
rabbit hole.
energy.
Those are like those social media posts, right? Sandra
Yeah.
Priestley is feeling sad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We can ask the universe for help. We can ask God for help. We can
Yes.
do whatever it happens to be. Or we can reach out to a friend and go, "Okay, I just need positive support and I'll make it through this, but I need you to send me a
Yeah.
little bit of extra oomph to
Yes.
my own practice of getting my shit back together in my
Yeah.
head."
Yeah. Yeah.
So beautiful.
So yeah, that's going to be my new thing.
I love it.
And it feels like a form of prayer,
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
just, it's the kind of prayer I like.
Yeah.
So I think we're out of time.
We are out of time. Where have we passed? But this was so good. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with this conversation.
Oh, thank you. Yes, this was amazing. Thank you, Sandra. And thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday on the Happy Half Hour. Bye.
Bye.